Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 and the Red Wolf. Join.
Unfortunately,
Huh?
unfortunately.
We are joined yet again on another Sunday where I was miraculously able to fit it in my timeline because school is back for me and I kind of didn't really have no homework to do. So yeah, we're doing it here on Sunday. But actually starting next week, I'm actually going to change the One Piece arc review dates going up to Monday, because obviously NFL football is coming back, and I cover the Bears. Well, I always do my game recaps for the Bears, and they usually come on around the time, or I make my recap around the time we're probably making this video right now. And I want to put all my focus on that and focusing on that as well instead of just, I guess, trying to fit my schedule into doing a game recap and then coordinating this stuff with Denzel here to do a One Piece One Piece arc review. And then it's like all mumble jumble. And then, like I said, every now and then I do Pokemon Journeys reviews. So I don't want to overdo my day. So starting next week, um, so that will mean, I believe, the next arc we're covering after this is Long Ring, Long Land, and Water 7. Um, so those arcs will be Monday. So arc reviews will be going Monday till we finally complete them. And I'm guessing my movie reviews will, when I get to making movie or special reviews for One Piece, I'll do that as well. Yeah, but that's just some things, just a quick update in terms of the One Piece content going on. But if you do watch my anime reviews, One Piece animes will still go up every Saturday night. So yeah. Um, Anyways, we're here to talk about the next arc in the series, or the next two arcs in the series, which is yes.
Do I have to go out there and review this?
Yes. Are you here, buddy?
Anyways, yeah, I am so happy to be reviewing this arc. I don't see why anyone would have problems with this arc. I personally love this arc. Uh, right, Cameron? We both love this arc, right? Uh,
Eh, as
uh,
you can tell by me and my partner's reaction, we're not really fans of this part of the story. Now, we'll get into our reasons why, but I do know Jaya, but morely Skypiea, is, I could say, one of the more controversial One Piece arcs. The thing is, I think why it makes it controversial is I think the differences in the genres people experience this arc. Now, I heard in the manga, when you read the manga version of Skypiea, it isn't as bad as some people who are anime only people who do not like this arc say it is. I do have the manga version of Skypiea. I just didn't get the chance to read it, which the reason why is, again, I state my case. Way back when I was in my junior year of college, I came home for spring break, and I only brought like two One Piece mangas with me just to read on the way back home. And since I kind of had an extended summer because of obviously the pandemic, I wasn't able to go back to school and retrieve my stuff. So my remaining One Piece books, up till like the water up to the end of Enna's Lobby and the start of Thriller Bark, are in Connecticut, which is where my school's located at. And I was gonna try to read the Skypiea manga to see if I had a bit more appreciation. Now I watched a little bit of the Skypiea arc here, and like I said, the reason why this arc is so controversial is, one, the animated version. If you watch the animated version, one, you could say some people have issues with just how long this arc can be, and that's on the anime side. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first watched this arc, one, I was not into it because of how long it was, and then I guess I also kind of didn't really care because the Skypiea arc, for the most part, it doesn't really cater to progressing, like, I guess you could say, the main story. It's kind of its own standalone side story, but in the main, it gets its own main arc.
Yeah,
Because
I,
go
I,
ahead.
I actually made a comment to you about that before. Like, I asked you, would One Piece be any different without the Skypiea arc? I mean, I don't think the Skypiea arc is that relevant.
Other than, really, I guess you can say, the Robin knowing more of the poneglyph stuff she sees here, but yeah.
Hmm. Go on.
But yeah, it's a controversial arc. You have some people that love this arc. You have some people that are in the middle. Um, well, actually, all, and then you have some people like Denzel who kind of just don't really like this arc and kind of just want to move alongside and not remember. Now, for me, I was in Denzel's boat, but after kind of rewatching it and listening to more people review this arc, I guess you can say I'm in the middle now. I don't like it, but at the same time, I do like some things from this arc. So I guess I'm a middle person, but still I'm kind of leaning to the side where I somewhat don't like it, but I have an appreciation for Skypiea, for I guess what it gave us for the most part. Um, it did hint at the fact that there's another ancient weapon somewhere in the future, which is later confirmed by Fishman Island, um, and stuff like that. Now, looking at it more, I kind of appreciate more of the world building it kind of does when it comes to Robin reading the poneglyphs and stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Jaya and Skypiea. Now, these two arcs kind of go hand to hand or hand in hand with each other because just like the previous saga in Alabasta, the Skypiea saga has, well, the difference is it didn't need 4 arcs before it builds up to the final big, arc, which is Skypiea. Here, it only needed 1 arc, which was the Jaya arc, which I guess you can say Jaya was a pretty interesting arc at the end of the day, because one, you meet a character that has ties to a future warlord and a future antagonist in the story. You meet the person Ace is chasing after, and I guess you can say potentially final villain of One Piece, as well as you get more world building on top of interesting looking for gold and stuff like that. So yeah. So anyways, like I said, I'm gonna go through the story points. We'll talk about them and give our thoughts on each of the story points, and
Just
then
don't just don't expect me to do too much talking this time. I'm sorry.
okay. All right. So anyways, now actually, fun fact: if you do not want to waste your time with the long anime, if you're watching the One Piece anime version of Skypiea, and I guess you can say Jaya, what you can do is watch the special episode of Skypiea, which is just like episode of East Blue and the One Piece movie 7, which covers the Alabasta arc. The Alabasta arc. Episode of Skypiea covers a little bit of Jaya and mostly the events that take place in Skypiea. Now, again, like I said with last week with the Alabasta movie, they kind of changed some things as opposed to the manga and the anime in here. One, to obviously save time, but say like one of the major changes they made is Satori, who is one of the priests that Luffy, Usopp, and Sanji fight. Instead of making them fight in the forest in the upper yard, they make them fight on the beach where they first met Conus and everything. Which is a very interesting change. I don't know why they did that, but that's Toei for you. Um, but like I said, it kind of still has the same story despite small changes. It's just, it's just a shortened, quicker version or an hour version of Skypiea. Again, I don't know how you can fit a whole arc into 1 hour. It's the same thing I said with the movie and even the East Blue, even episode of East Blue special. Um, I don't know how you can fit those arcs into 1 hour, but okay. They did it, even though they had to trim a lot of stuff out. and things like that. Anyways, let's start off with the Jaya arc, because Jaya is the build-up before we get to Skypiea. Now, an interesting thing is, after Alabasta and after Robin kind of joins their crew, well, I guess forcibly, to say the least, they're just sailing, and next thing you know, they look up in the air, or they see that there's shade going on in the middle of nowhere in the ocean, and they look up and they see there's a ship about to fall on the Going Merry. Now, after the ship crashes, Luffy kind of looks around the ship and everything. And also another mention is Nami sees that the log pose is pointed upwards and stuff like that. Now, Robin actually concludes by saying that, if it's pointing upwards, then that means it must be pointing towards a sky island, which obviously is the theme of this arc, or the saga. Now, like I said, Luffy, after looking at the ship, he finds a map to an island called Skypiea and stuff like that. So they're speculating, like, how do they get to the Sky Island? Is this thing a legit thing? Because especially in Jaya, the one thing which we'll get later on into is, is this real and stuff like that. Now, in order to prove more, to try to get more confirmation, what they do is, the crew makes Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji kind of do, I guess, a diving exposition to go look into the ship more, the broken ship. Now, the interesting thing, they hear these other pirates, and these other pirates, the captain, who is like a monkey-looking dude, and his name is Masara, and he runs the Masara Pirates. They're essentially salvagers who salvage things in the sea, essentially, and stuff like that. Now, Nami and the others try to, guys trick him to act like they're not doing nothing, but eventually Masara goes down them himself, and he runs into Luffy, and they eventually get all buddy all for a second until Luffy says, "Oh yeah, we were totally looking around this broken down ship and stuff like that." Also, in the meantime, they almost get eaten by a giant turtle as well.
I remember that.
So yeah, now I will say this. Skypiea and Jaya might not be my favorite arcs in the series, but I will give it credit. Give it credit too. To be honest, they're some of the most funniest arcs in One Piece straight up. I will say that. If you may not like it, you have to say that the jokes coming out of these Jaya and Skypiea, it was just pure comedy. Especially the time, for example, when Luffy was imitating Sanji, and Sanji just beat him up in Usopp, and they have this shriveled face and everything. And stuff like that. So, there's many funny moments where even when I was rewatching, I was just dying of laughter. I will say, give it credit. They, in my opinion, they may not be some of the best arcs, in my opinion. To you, they may be, but I honestly found the comedy wholesome, which I guess you could say is something that makes the arc a little bit more likable for me in Denzel. Okay. Now, that too, a Tarzan reference. Now, after they get out of the whale, it looks like Masara was going to start fighting them, but then all of a sudden it gets dark out of nowhere. And next thing you know, they look up and they see these giant things, these giant silhouettes, these people with spears and wings on their back. And you just see everybody just in fear, like, oh my gosh, what is that? And that was pretty crazy. I did not know what that was, and I was like, oh, giant people. Now, obviously, we know, because with the wings and stuff like that, they look like the Skypeans, obviously. So, yeah, which I guess you can say, I don't know really much into it, but I guess that was a hint to Skypiea or something like that. But, yeah. Now, anyways, after they deal with the Masara pirates and they just send Masara flying as his crew tries to retrieve him, Robin actually got a hold of their eternal pose, which takes them to the island of Jaya. So what happens is they want to get more information on the Sky Islands. So Luffy, Nami, and Zoro walk through a town called Mock Town. Ha ha ha. Funny how they call it Mock Town when essentially almost everybody mocks people in that town. Yeah. When they walked in this town is like very like pirate friendly. Like I think even one of the people said like, oh yeah, the economy here is based on the pirates and stuff like that, which is pretty strange that you wouldn't think the Marines wouldn't shut this place down. But I digress. Yeah, you can just it's just a lot of hoodlums and crazy people getting, out of hand and stuff like that. They actually come across one of Blackbeard's crew members who almost legit kills them or kills Luffy by making him eat this apple that would have blown up and stuff like that. So yeah, that's cool. They also run into this pirate crew of Bellamy's crew at this hotel that they kind of, I guess you could say, rented out the entire thing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, anyways, they go into this bar, and like I said, they're looking for more information. And in the meantime, while they're at this bar eating, we see a certain person, I guess, competing with Luffy. And that is Mr. Now, we all know, Blackbeard, or Marshall D. Teach, which I guess you can say at the time, unless you don't know nothing about the One Piece characters, you wouldn't know that is Blackbeard. I already knew that was Blackbeard from the moment I started watching One Piece because I played Jump Force and stuff like that. But yeah, him and Luffy are kind of competing here and stuff like that. And you can see obviously the rivalry already brewing here and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. For one of the stupidest reasons.
Yes. They're just fighting over food. Like Luffy said the pies suck while Blackbeard likes the pies, but Luffy likes the drinks while Blackbeard hates the drinks and stuff like that. And yeah. Now, the bartender is like, look, you can't fight in my bar. So Blackbeard, he just dips and stuff like that. Heck, it got so to the point, like they were even comparing bounties, man. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Now, in the meantime, Bellamy actually goes back to his crew, and his crew tells him about Luffy and stuff like that. And that's when we get kind of one of the most very interesting scenes here. And that is the Bellamy bar scene and stuff like that. So Bellamy now at first was trying to recruit Luffy to his crew. And I guess you can say he kind of gave him tough love, even though he slammed him through a bar table.
I did not know how to feel about Bellamy's character back then. Back then, he just looked like an asshole.
Yeah, until we later. Well, I'll keep that for later. And then that's when they see this all happening. That's when Nami says, "Hey, we're just looking for the Sky Island here. Do you have any information about the Sky Island?" And then that's when everybody just, all become what Denzel just said, assholes. And they start laughing and they don't believe that there's a Sky Island and stuff like that. And, like I said, they're laughing at them. And Bellamy, he's even laughing at them. He's like, you really believe all that nonsense and stuff like that? Which dives into, the dreams and stuff like that. And that's when Bellamy, he's like, pirates with dreams are freaking weak. We're pirates. We're supposed to do what pirates do. Steal, do what we need to do and only focus on getting the riches of this world. We don't need to worry about no damn dreams. The pirate era of dreams is dead, from what Bellamy said. And he was coming across like a total a-hole here, man. And really, to be honest, it's like, well, damn. I'm like, it made me want this guy to literally get punched and stuff like that.
Oh, am I satisfied after that?
Yeah, now Bellamy says that there is a thing that called the knock-up stream that pushes ships up into the sky but knocks them back down, which that leader makes him believe like, yeah, there's no sky island. People will ride the knock-up stream but then fall down to their doom and stuff like that. And yeah, and like I said, Bellamy doesn't believe in pirates having dreams and he calls them weak. And then this is when we kind of get, you know, a gut-wrenching scene here, and that was when Luffy tells Zoro, Zoro, do not fight back. And I don't know if this was you, Denzel, but this really made me get a callback to the start of One Piece and the Luffy backstory when the bandits invaded the one bar in Makino's little bartending place. And, even though the bandits were ridiculing Shanks and his crew, Shanks didn't fight here when Luffy wanted to fight. And I felt like it was kind of, a throwback to that where Luffy and Zoro don't fight because they know, why fight here? At this point, they can mock us all for we care. We'll just make our own dreams come true. And Nami kind of played the role as Kid Luffy did, where she was trying to tell Luffy and Zoro, yo, fight back, you guys. Aren't you guys going to take offense to that?
She's not that experienced. What can I say?
I guess my question to you is, what did you think of the part when they just weren't fighting, and did it just recall to you back in the part with, at the start of One Piece with the Shanks stuff?
Well, I can definitely see the influence that Shanks gave him.
Anyways, after they leave the bar, because Nami kind of leaves them. Heck, there was also, I don't know if you also, the one white-haired guy who was, I guess you could say, Bellamy's right-hand man, he kind of says also the derogatory comment to Nami and says, hey, let me buy you and you can be with me and stuff like that. Kind of like a slave type of thing, which was kind of messed up. I totally forgot that when I rewatched that stuff, and I was like, that's a foreshadow to something to come later down.
And slavery? Wasn't she also a slave to Arlong back in Arlong Park?
Yeah, that too. Can I just say, man, is Nami strong or what? Because she managed to just drag Luffy and Zoro out of the bar as, stuff like that. They do run into...
Cameron, have you seen them many times Nami has punched Luffy and all that times? As strong as he is now, she still has him at her mercy.
Now they do run into Blackbeard again, and that's when he goes on as saying like, the dreams of pirates are always going to last forever because pirates always have dreams to accomplish what they want. And he makes a mention too that the Sky Islands are real and stuff like that. And like I said, he says the dream of pirates, the era of the dreams of pirates will never end, which honestly is true because every pirate has a dream. There's a reason why you become a pirate in the first place to begin with anyways.
Well, Blackbeard can say some pretty good words of wisdom.
Which I guess you can say is really the only words of wisdom he ever had on Luffy. Which is very interesting. The dynamic here between Blackbeard and Luffy, you can see the somewhat similar personalities, but at the same time, you can see where they differ at the same time too. Now also, morally of the interesting part is Luffy doesn't really leave till Blackbeard just is like, all right, peace. Now, I think it's obviously because Luffy knows that, what Nami was trying to do is Nami was trying to get more information about Blackbeard, which I think if she went that approach, she probably would have got herself into some trouble there. And they might have probably killed her for it. So that's why Luffy kind of just said, okay, let's go after he left and stuff like that. Now, in the meantime, they get back to the ship. Robin actually did some digging herself. Well, I guess you could say going shopping. And she kind of threatened some people who were making fun of her and stuff like that. So she did essentially the opposite of what Luffy and Zoro didn't do. And essentially, she gets a map of Jaya, where she says on the other side of the map, there's a man who lives there and who was banished by this town, and his name is Mon Block Cricket, and he has dreams as well, which is another reason why they the town outcasted him and stuff like that. Now, in the meantime, they fly over there. They run into another monkey-looking dude by the name of Shoujo, and essentially he knows Masura. Now, he thinks the Straw Hats like killed him or something like that. And because of it, Shoujo, he kind of has, like, I guess you can say, a very loud voice, which tries to destroy the Going Merry, but they managed to get out of there and stuff like that. Now, we cut back to good old Bellamy, and one of his crewmates says, "Oh yeah, you know about Mont Blanc Cricket? Yeah, apparently he has gold, and we could, make a little moolah off that." And that's when Bellamy is like, "Well, damn, I guess we can steal some gold from him." And he says he wants to meet Cricket. So, yeah, that is, which leads into what happens later in this arc with how Bellamy kind of beats him up and stuff like that. But yeah, now the interesting part is when the Straw Hats get to the other side of the island, they see this huge freaking castle, only to find out that it's completely cardboard. And they see a smaller house in the back of it. Now Nami finds this book called Nolan the Liar. Now here's an interesting tidbit: is Sanji says he heard of the book because the book, we find out, is originated from the North Blue. And this is when Sanji gets the confirmation, "Oh, I'm actually from the North Blue, so I heard of that story and read it." And that's when the crew's like, "Really? I thought you were always from East Blue." He's like, "No, I moved over here from North Blue." Which is very interesting because if you look on the world map, the North Blue and the East Blue are split between the red line. So yeah, that's very interesting to keep in your heads and stuff like that. Now, the book is about a fairy tale about a man named Nolan who lived in the North Blue, which these events took place 400 years ago. His name is also Mont Blanc Nolan. He was an explorer that told tales to others. And the thing is, the reason why he's called Nolan the Liar is he told the king of his country that there was a city of gold on this island. And when the king and his men go with Nolan to find the city of gold was not there. And the king got really upset, and essentially he executed Nolan for lying, which AKA gives the dude the name Nolan the Liar and stuff like that. So yeah. Now Nolan says, Nolan's in the book says, he thought the city of gold had sunken into the sea. Obviously nobody believed him, so yeah. Now we also find out after encountering Mont Blanc Cricket, after fighting with Luffy and the others and stuff like that. The thing is, we find out that Mont Blanc Cricket is the great descendant of Nolan the Liar, because they have the same name and stuff like that. Like I said, he actually attacks him, but he eventually kind of passes out because Chopper says he has the disease called Cason's disease. That is a disease that affects divers. Essentially what Chopper says, he dove so much and the water pressure took a toll on his body, which would make sense because the deeper you dive, the deeper in the water, you can honestly be crushed if you just try to swim with like no submarine or anything. So yeah. Now Masura and Shoujo actually, go into the house and they see that, oh, they're helping Nolan and stuff. Cricket and stuff like that. And things like that. So it is interesting. And we see that they have like an alliance called, I forgot, the Sayarama Alliance. So it's, they're all salvagers essentially looking for the lost city of gold. And we find this out because Cricket is like, well, my family, since they're called the Mont Blancs, they've been ridiculed thanks to Nolan and stuff like that. And we find out that Cricket used to be a pirate himself. And when he finally got to Jaya, the instinct of him looking for gold just grew because he just wanted to put a stop to the family's names being ridiculed, which, I guess I can't blame them there. You want to prove you want to prove that, even though you may have not liked your great descendant or your great 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 grandfather or however it is, you want to prove that wrong. You want to prove them wrong so you don't get ridiculed anymore and stuff like that. To be honest, I really did like Cricket. I really did like Cricket. He was a pretty interesting character and stuff like that. What about you, Denzel?
Yeah, I like him.
Okay. Um. Anyways, Cricket does say that Nolan was an honorable person and he became a pirate due to his heritage. 10 years ago, he actually came to Jaya, and since he was looking for his family stuff, his crew actually just straight up is like, well, fine. If you're gonna believe in that stuff, that City of Gold crap, fine, you do it. We're gonna leave. Peace. His pirate crew like upped and dipped on him, so he was on his own. So talk about being loyal to their captain. So yeah. Now, Masura and Shoujo, who later met Cricket, I believe 5 years after he got to the island, um, they eventually believed in the City of Gold as well. And they worked alongside Cricket to find the City of Gold and stuff like that. Now, Cricket has Nolan's logbook, and it talks about a sky waver that was made on Sky Island, which also the Straw Hats do find and they put on their ship. It's a broken waver they have. They also talk about a skyfish in the logbook as well. And essentially, what happens is that inspires the Straw Hats to be like, so that means the Sky Island is real and stuff like that. And after this, that's when Cricket, Shoujo, and Masura all walk outside and they agreed to help the Straw Hats get to Sky Island and stuff like that, which is really nice of them. Now, Cricket actually goes up to say that the only way to get up to the Sky Island is through the knock-up stream. Now, we later find out there's another way, but the other way, you essentially would probably have to sacrifice somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So, what they're taking here is, there's a chance you won't lose nobody, but there's a chance you could all die in the process. But unless you want to go the other route, you're going to probably have to sacrifice somebody. So, yeah. Which is, pretty interesting. Now, Gonful actually makes that statement later on. But, yeah. He goes on to say that the knock-up stream appears 5 times a month, which is pretty frequent, if you ask me, for a dangerous current that is essentially like an underwater volcano.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Nolan says in the skull's right eye is where he saw the gold, or where the book, where he saw the gold and stuff like that. In the book, it also brings up talking about a golden bell as well, which is a huge thing in this arc. Now, the funny thing is they were actually partying so much that Cricket forgot to tell the Straw Hats, if you want to find the knock-up stream, you're going to need the South Bird. And it was funny because this whole sequence to try to catch one damn bird was freaking hilarious. The bird was essentially manipulating, like, nature just to go after the Straw Hats.
I forgot how that bird sounded. It sounded really. I forgot.
Yeah, it has a weird cry as well. It was funny. They were, the bird was sending like bugs to like run in their parade. There's like praying mantis that can apparently cut down trees here. So that's not scary enough.
I like your sarcasm.
Yeah. So it's just funny stuff. It was just funny stuff. Now, in the meantime, while now also another thing about the South Bird is the South Bird. It says it in its name. Its head just stays locked on to us just to the south, essentially. Yeah. So
I find that extremely painful to do all the time.
Yeah. It's funny because they make an ongoing joke where they try to move the South Bird's head, and it just kind of moves back to south position. It doesn't move north, west, or east. It just straight up stays south, which I think is pretty hilarious. Now, in the meantime, Bellamy actually comes across Cricket's home, And this is when you hate Bellamy to start off when he was mocking Luffy and stuff, but this is when you really hate him. Because he starts to beat up him and his, excuse me, guys. Him and his group start to beat up Cricket, Shoujo, and Masura, and they essentially leave them in a bloody. He leaves them in their own blood, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is really messed up and stuff like that. And this is when we get the revelation to Bellamy's devil fruit power, which is the Bane fruit or the Bane no no Mi. In other words, translate that to English.
The spring fruit, right?
Yes. Essentially, he can make his body into springs, but he predominantly does it with his legs to give him, I guess, that extra boost. I believe this is also a paramecia devil fruit. So he's just essentially a spring, which I guess if done right, it could be a pretty powerful devil fruit. You can jump really high because your legs would be made of spring and stuff like that. It was very freaking hard to watch there because, Bellamy not only beats them up and stuff like that, but man, he even takes their gold from them. And can I just also say the loyalty to Shoujo and Masura, I believe it was Masura who took a freaking huge freaking slice of the sword to his back to prevent Cricket from getting cut up. Man, that's when I thought, oh, he's dead. But no, he's still alive.
These people have serious plot armor. I'll give them that.
And durability to say that. It was a freaking, like I said, it makes you hate Bellamy much more, and it makes you want him to literally get his ass whooped. Now, they eventually catch up to the crew catches the Southbird. Obviously, they see the damage happening to, they see the damage that happened to Cricket. Also, in the meantime, we get revelation that Luffy's bounty went up to 100 million, and Zoro's went up to 60 million. And it's funny because this random stranger's telling Bellamy is like, yo, we got to get out of here. He's got a 100 million berry bounty, which is more than I believe Bellamy's. I forgot what his thing is, but Bellamy isn't scared. Anyways, Luffy in retaliation, which, man, did it feel good. I know it felt good for Denzel.
Definitely.
I know you very vividly remember this scene. Would you care to go on and explain?
Okay, so Luffy confronts them. Bellamy starts showing off his power with the spring fruit, and he starts like bouncing all over the place, like at high speeds. He's kind of like shaving Luffy a bit until like Luffy decides to fight back with just one punch. Ka-pong!
Talk about One Punch Man.
Yep.
Dude. Man, you see, the crazy thing is this. You would think this would be a long, drawn-out fight. But in reality, it goes to show you that the pirate that was making fun of people, who was, I guess, I'm not trying to say he was trying to pretend like he was all this and that, and trying to be pretending to be a real strong pirate. The thing is, he was kind of a jobber, kind of an overrated dude who was just talking on the smack and really never backed it up.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can clearly see that, Jesus, it was so bad, man. This dude had Luffy's fist mark in his face.
Yeah.
So, Bellamy, that's it for the time being. And, well, we see him later with the events that happens after when his old buddy Doflamingo kind of does something messed up to him. But yeah. And actually, speaking of Luffy, he gets the gold back and he leaves to get ready to leave for Skypiea. Also in the meantime, Blackbeard sees Luffy's bounty and he's looking to hunt him, not knowing that his bounty is 100 million, and the fact that Zoro has 60 million, they're looking for that 160 billion bounty, which leads into again the thing. Now we obviously know that Crocodile is not a warlord anymore because he was kicked to the curb. So this is when we get our first look at the Holy Land, where the world government resides in, again called the Holy Land, called Marie's Was. I know it's hard to pronounce. I still can't pronounce it right. Now we see these very old guys. With a few exceptions, there's like 2 younger guys there too. But essentially, these guys are called the 5 Elder Stars, or their Japanese terms are called the 5 Goriseis. And essentially, they run the entire world government. They are the over the head world government people and stuff like that, if you didn't know who they are. So, yeah, they kind of run the entire world as we know it and set the laws in place. So, in other words, they are the government.
Yep.
Essentially, one, they know that Shanks and Whitebeard are having a meeting, and they also want to make a replacement for the warlord spot for Crocodile, as well as they want to catch Monkey D. Luffy. Now, just to say this is one of the very few appearances we see of these old guys. And when I mean few, we barely see these guys at all. Like the only time we see him is here, and I believe Reverie. And after that, that's it. We don't really see these guys. So I'm guessing until we get maybe a world government arc here, we'll see more of these guys. Because we don't know if they have devil fruit powers. We just know that they might, obviously, hell, they look like they're strong dudes, despite their ages, and stuff like that. So it was very interesting. What was your thoughts when you first saw these 5 old guys?
Oh man, it looks like Luffy's is in for some trouble in the future.
Yeah. Now, what they do is the world government calls in the warlords to talk about this new warlord meeting. One, we get introductions to new warlords, as well as new marine folks here. Now, new warlords we see, other than really, I guess you can say, Mihawk that shows up later, is we see Dong Quixote do Flamingo, which he is probably one of the biggest One Piece antagonists ever.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so if you're watching One Piece and you haven't even seen this guy's design, yeah. You have at least had to seen this guy's design before even watching the show.
He looks amusing.
Yes. To say that he's sounds like a crazy guy, yeah, that's a complete understatement. Just wait till you get to Dressrosa.
And wait till you hear his cackle.
Yes. Now I did watch the English dub. I do like his English dub voice, which he sounds like a cocky bastard. I'm not even gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. Now, another warlord we see here is Bartholomew Kuma. He's a big guy. Really pretty interesting. He doesn't really say anything. That's all I can say, but he's just big. And he looks like he's got well, actually, let's not talk about it. That's the only thing we got going for Kuma. We won't see Kuma for a while, just to say that. So yeah, now we also see some Navy people. Now we see an old woman by the name of Navy HQ Vice Admiral Siru. She's just an old lady. Obviously, she used to be a big Marine force back in her time, and stuff like that. As well as we see the Navy HQ Fleet Admiral, or the guy that runs the Marines, Sengoku. Which, when I heard his name for the first time, I was like, ha, ha, ha. They totally stole something from Dragon Ball there.
Son Goku.
Yeah. Honestly, it's just, you take out the O and trade it in for the E.
And separate them. And separate Son and Goku.
Yeah. So Sengoku is the Fleet Admiral. Like I said, he runs the entire Marine Corps and everything. Now we see this guy named Lafitte because they're talking about how to fix the warlord system here. Now Lafitte actually recommends somebody. Now we actually cut over to a dude who sent who is in Shank's crew who sent a letter to Whitebeard, and this new Shank's crew member who's been in Shank's crew for I think a few months, as he said, his name is Rockstar. Now I figure he might be a future thing, a more important character whenever the series decides to run into Shanks again. And plus, where we're at now, he's got to be much more of a bigger thing in Shanks' crew because there has been a 2-year time skip. So yeah. So you could say Rockstar is like a rookie on Shanks' crew here. Now, Whitebeard, which we see his first appearance, and Whitebeard looks, when you first see him, he looks like a very giant old man that apparently is very sickly or ill. And when I first saw him, I was like, oh, a giant man. So this is Ace's captain. Very interesting.
Very big.
Yes. Now, Whitebeard rips up the letter Shanks gave him, and he's like, get the hell out of here. I probably know what the letter's about. And essentially it's Shanks telling, again, a very interesting point here, telling Whitebeard, hey, I think you should call your one of your crewmates, Ace, off of trying to chase Blackbeard. Later know why Shanks does that. But sadly, Whitebeard doesn't listen, and he kind of, leaves the thing. Now, we see his title, and now, first things first. Whitebeard's title is He is the Strongest Man in the World, and his full name is Edward Newgate. It's interesting his name's called Edward, to say the least, and it's also interesting that he is, for someone that looks so, I guess you can say maybe in a sick condition, is called the strongest man in the world now. We understand why he's called the strongest man in the world, what we see later from him by the end of the pre-time skip arcs and stuff like that. Now, like I said, I can't wait for the Wano arc to dive into the backstory, because the Wano arc does focus more on not only what's going on in terms of the Wano side, but they also do focus on Gold Roger and even Whitebeard there too. So that's the one thing I can't wait to see, because then we get to see, more Whitebeard, more Roger, what were they about and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see that backstory for Wano, even though that will probably go on for the next couple of weeks and stuff like that. So yeah. Now, what is it? Rockstar actually goes back to Shanks' crew, and Shanks is like, look, don't worry about it. I knew Whitebeard would act like that. I'll just meet him in person. For now, let's party. Yeah, that's Shanks for you. And that's the thing we get of Shanks here. Now, Lafitte actually, going back to what's happening at Marige was, Lafitte actually recommends a person who should be in the warlord system, and is Teach, who is his captain, which we all know who he's talking about. Now, like I said, Blackbeard is now looking for Luffy, now knowing about the bounty and the money he can get from that bounty. And the thing is, I'm guessing here, because Luffy obviously is a big-time pirate, he's becoming up in the ranks of big-time pirates and becoming a nuisance to the Marines. You can see this is probably his first plan to get into the warlord system, probably by capturing Zoro and Luffy and bringing them in. Well, to say that he does it to a certain character later on kind of makes up for that. Now, Blackbeard's crew consists of a guy named Jesus Burgess, or I'd rather call him Jesus Burgess, but they call him Jesus Burgess. I don't like the fact that they call him Jesus, but whatever.
It's the same thing.
I guess you can say Burgess is kind of like his first mate / right-hand man, like Luffy is to Zoro. So yeah. So we also find out his real name, which is a very interesting thing. Blackbeard's real full name is Marshall D. Teach. So it's another person with the D. Just
Yeah.
just to let you know, which again, we still don't know what the D represents for. He also has a sniper called Van Auger, and he has a doctor named Doc Q, which is the guy that almost killed Luffy with the fake apples.
Mm.
So what happens is the Straw Hats prepare for thanks to the help of Shoujo and Masura, they get ready to do the knockup stream. Blackbeard's honestly right behind them too, and stuff like that. But then they ride the knockup stream, and they do it pretty well, and they ride up into the Skylands and stuff like that. Now I will give it its credit. The end of the Jaya was great, which the Jaya Arc I thought was pretty cool. It did build some world building for Skypiea and stuff like that. Now, I will say when they were going up the knockup stream, it was pretty cool because one, their ship looks like a chicken or a bird, and two, thanks to Nami smartness of knowing the air and stuff like that and the weather, she managed to get them up there without crashing. And then two, I don't know, just hearing We Are play at this part of the story, just I will say I remember watching it for the first time. I started to get hyped because I'm like, okay, now this is the sense of adventure I was talking about. So I don't know how you felt about that part, but it was really a pretty cool scene when they were playing We Are as they were riding up the knockup stream.
Yeah, it's pretty iconic even now in the post time skip as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we get to Skypiea here. We get to Skypiea and stuff like that. Now, in a few minutes, I'm actually going to, I guess, give a description on something. Anyways, now it's morally after getting in a fight to what they call a person called the gorillas. Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy have a hard time fighting because it's hard to breathe in this altitude of air. And essentially, like I said, this mass figure essentially starts beating them up really easily and stuff like that. But thanks to this guy called the Sky Knight, he comes in and saves them. Now he goes on to say that that they're blue sea dwellers, which that's what they call them, and they have reached the White Sea. Now hold on a second, guys. We'll be back after this regular scheduled break because I'm going to set up the map in terms of, I guess you can say, in terms of the heightness of where they're at. So in a quick second, guys, I'll be right back with this.
Where's my face?
I see you.
Oh.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyways, sorry, we're back, guys. We're back. We're back.
Is it on this part of my face or that part of my face? I need to know.
Anyways,
really?
Huh?
No, wait, really? Am I on the left or on the right?
I can get to the video now.
Yes, I'm just asking.
Okay. Anyways, guys, as you're seeing here, like I said, I would provide a map in terms of the heights of just the Sky Islands and really how high they are. Now, obviously, this map is from one of the One Piece YouTubers out there named Tekken101. I actually watch him. He's pretty cool. He's very informative in terms of the One Piece world and content and stuff like that. So check out his channel if you haven't already. Anyways, this is the map he made. I'm just borrowing it for the time being. As you can see here, this is really a map of how high the Straw Hats went. So obviously you can see in the lower right-hand corner, you can see Jaya. Now obviously, the Straw Hats, to ride up the knockup stream and get into the White Sea, they had to go 7,000 meters into the air, which is pretty high. Now, which is even higher than that is the White Sea, as you can see. Now, if you're at the White Sea, that's 3,000 miles away if you're at the White Sea to get to the White Sea. But in general, if you're trying to get to the White Sea straight up from really the Blue Sea, the White Sea is 10,000 meters in the air compared to the Blue Sea, which is really freaking high. Yeah. So I just wanted to share that real quick. But yeah, that was the thing. So yeah, I wanted to share that quick information real quick. So again, the Sky Knight, he kind of leaves and he's like, listen, here, I'll give you this whistle, blow this whistle whenever you need me to help you. But it's gonna cost you. This time was on the house. Yeah. Now, he even mentions that the currency in the Sky Islands are called X-tolls. And he asked if they came from the summit of High West, which is the other way to try to reach the White Sea. Because if they took in that route, they would have actually come across a few Sky Islands. But again, like I said, if you take the summit of High West, you might be losing the crew from what is apparently told there. But they tell him, no, we came up here through the knock-up stream. And he's like, really now? Huh. That makes sense why you don't know nothing. So yeah. Now we see, now he says his name is not the Sky Knight, but his name is Gonfall. And his partner Pierre, who can also transform into a Pegasus. And essentially Pierre has eaten a devil fruit, which is the Uma Uma no Mi, which translate into the horse fruit. So, okay. Now, it's not explained how he found this devil fruit, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Now, after sailing a bit on the White Sea, they reach this gate called Heaven's Gate. Now they see this old lady who says, "Listen, in order to get to the White Sea, or Skypiea, the Holy Land, or one of the the Grand Lands, essentially you're gonna have to pay 1 billion X-toll per person," which I don't know if they translated to how many berries that was, but I still know that's damn near expensive. That sounds expensive.
Definitely.
Now, the thing about the old lady says is, well, if you don't want to pay it, you can still go up there, which I'm like, okay. Now, again, this kind of, well, not to say that this is a stupid problem, but just kind of an issue. But we later find out that's an illegal act to do that. Now, one, I don't know why you have to pay to get into another country. That sounds stupid. Because, well, I guess I can't complain because you really do need to pay to get into other countries in our world. But I guess you can say to that much, but okay. I guess you could say I don't like it because it's like, well, you can go up there still regardless. And I'm like, well, then why don't you just stop them the moment they try to go up there and stuff like that? So, yeah. The lady's kind of like lazy about it, but again, that goes on their, I guess you can say, Sky Island permanent record. Anyways, this crab takes him up to, this express lobster takes him up to Skypiea, and essentially, this is when the old lady says, which funny, in the English dub, her voice sounds like Baba from Dragon Ball, which surprisingly, they decide to have that voice actor come back for every old lady voice anyways. Anyways, she goes on to say, you have now given the punishment of heaven's judgment, which is very interesting. Now, again, I'll probably delete my old arc reviews and my old saga reviews of One Piece, but this is the one thing. If you're a very religious person, they do use religious terms in this arc, like God and heaven and judgment and stuff like that. So if you are a very religious person, this might be a turnoff to you. So yeah, it doesn't really faze me that much because how Dragon Ball uses God in their stuff, God of Destruction, Super Saiyan God, stuff like that. And plus, when's the other time an anime hasn't used religious terms in terms of demons or gods? Jesus, Fire Force uses Demon Infernos. Devil. They call Shinra the damn devil in Fire Force.
Even in SAO, if you recall.
That too. That too.
Season 3. Definitely season 3.
Anyways, I will actually let's actually talk about this. Let's actually before we go back to talking about the story, let's talk about this. Robin. Now, one, Robin doesn't identify each crewmate by their individual names. She calls them by the job title they do. Like, for example, she doesn't call Nami Nami. She calls her Navigator. The only person she really calls by their real name is Luffy, because it's Luffy. Now, a few times she calls him Captain, but more than 9 out of 10, she addresses Luffy as Luffy. But everybody else, she addresses them as who they are. Cook for Sanji, Swordsman for Zoro, Doctor for Chopper. I forgot what she calls Usopp. I think she calls him Sniper or something like that. I don't remember, which actually brings me back. I almost forgot. Going back to Alabasta real quick. Vivi was the only one to give Zoro like his own exclusive name, and that's just calling him Mr. Bushido. I don't know why, but you kept calling him that, which I just found hilarious. Yeah. Mr. Bushido.
Mr. Bushido. What does it mean?
I guess that's another word of saying swordsman or samurai. Don't know, maybe I have to look it up. Hold on for a quick second, guys. Hey guys, sorry about that. I had to get some water because of my throat, talking so much. Anyways.
Oh, I can't believe you made this far into the video. You haven't pressed the like button. Why haven't you pressed it? Press it. Why is it going?
Sorry.
Anyways, getting back to Robin. What did you think of that? Did you wonder? And also, it's another thing. Did you think, because she did it to Crocodile, did you think that Robin would turn on Luffy and the others?
Well, kind of, yeah. I mean, she did kind of abruptly join their crew, without any, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really reason, but to be honest, I really like Robin this arc, watching back at it now. And that's mostly just for the history digging she was doing, just wanted to know about history, which we later find out by the end of the arc. Her goal is to learn what was in the lost history, or the Void Century, from way back, how long that is. And that's why she's reading the poneglyphs and stuff like that. Heck, we even see her brutally kill that one guy that they don't even show on one screen, where she breaks his back. Man, when I saw that, and I actually just watched that a few minutes ago, when I saw that, I totally forgot that, they didn't even show how bad she broke his back. They straight up just showed this the jungle, and you're like, oh, you mess with her history, she gets pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do like. And then another thing about Robin I like is just how nonchalant she is. She says some of the most nonchalant comments in reference to potential deaths, and the rest of the crew are like, how could you even be thinking about that? Which grows on to be just a growing trend with her character, which is one of the reasons why she's just one of my favorite characters. I still wish she was more prominent, but I'm hearing she's doing some prominent things going on right now in the manga. But I'll just have to wait till we get to the Battle of Onigashima. She does some prominent things here in this arc, but her kind of thing really kind of just, I would say she's kind of the thing that kind of makes somewhat the main story going on, especially when she reads the poneglyphs and stuff like that. But again, I thought Robin was really good in this arc. Honestly, I could say she was my favorite character in the Skypiea arc. But that was just a point I wanted to mention. Now she's actually intrigued by how adventurous Luffy and the others are on this cruise ship, because when they get to Skypiea, they just want to party and have fun and enjoy the time at the beach called Angel Beach. And she's just like, I guess these guys aren't so bad than I thought they would be. Now, currently, right now, she's the oldest member on the crew. And I believe she's like in her late 20s. She's like, I believe she's 29 right in pre-time skip. So right now, she's the oldest crew member on the crew. So while everyone else is like under 20, essentially. So I do find it interesting that they also did focus on the fact that there might be a chance Robin could turn on these guys, but still she's starting to grow to like these guys at the same time, Luffy and the others, which I did see was pretty interesting and stuff like that. Now they meet this girl who's playing this harp, and they see this girl named Conus, which I guess you can say is the typical girl side piece character of an arc that is of somewhat importance. I guess you can pair her with the Vivi, the Rebeccas, the other girl characters we've seen in One Piece times. The only difference is she's not a princess. She's just a civilian. To be honest, I kind of didn't like Conus, but I think Conus is an all right character. She does what she does in this arc for a reason. Like the part when she told the people about what Eneru was going to be doing in terms of destroying Skypiea and stuff like that. But I guess you can say she's just a character that kind of guides the Straw Hats along the way in terms of helping them understand the Sky Islands better and stuff like that. Your thoughts on Conus?
She's an alright character. I mean, what is there to say about her? I mean,
other than she's pretty or she's cute.
Yeah. Then again, she's an angel.
Well, in Sanji's terms.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember that. They're like, who is that? It's an angel! Good old Sanji.
She's an angel.
Well, to be honest, the Skypieas, the Skypieans, they're supposed to represent, I guess you could say, angel-like people, because they have wings and they're up in the air like it's heaven or something like that. Which is very interesting. I guess another interesting thing about Conus I do like, I guess, her little hair antennae. And it makes her look a little cute. To say I want to hit it, I want to hit it. She seems like a cute girl, shy, but still, okay. But then again, what can I say? Every One Piece girl looks like that. Now, actually, she runs into her father, and her father is writing this thing called the Waiver and stuff like that. They also talk about dials and stuff like that. And the dials essentially have different uses. Like they use dials for cooking, dials for recording stuff, dials for writing the waivers. They use them for a bunch of things. It's like their versions of electronics for them, essentially, which is very interesting. Like there's even a dial that's a lamp, and stuff like that. So, yeah, dials, which becomes a future thing, well, really only for Usopp, really, but things to know and learn of. So, yeah. Again, they look like she shells, but they have different functions. Now, in the meantime, actually what happens is Nami actually rides the Waiver because Luffy couldn't ride the Waiver because he sucks and he almost sinks to his death. And actually, even going way back, before they even get to Skypiea, there was this hilarious scene where Usopp jumps into the White Sea and he is swimming and he tries to go deeper down, almost to the point he falls back into the Blue Sea. And if it wasn't for Luffy and Robin's powers together, he might have lost his life there. Again, since the White Sea essentially is sea, devil fruit powers, devil fruit users can't swim in the in the seas, even though the seas look like clouds. So yeah, which is again very interesting. Now Conus and her dad go on to talk about a place called the Upper Yard, which is a place where no one can go to because it is a sacred grounds, or like a holy ground, and it's also the island where God lives. Which you'll be hearing that word much more. Oh yes, God here. Now, the interesting thing is, Nami actually here goes near the Upper Yard, and these people are getting chased by the priest of Eneru, and she kind of overhears the dude get kicked the bucket. And essentially she's headed back to tell the people like, oh, we need to get out of here and stuff like that. And also the priests know of the illegal entry of Luffy and his crewmates into the land of Skypiea as well. So in this, when we lead into the Skypiean police force called, I believe, the White Berets, which I guess you can chalk up as a funny scene here because the leader of the White Berets just keep charging Luffy and the others for doing the simplest of things. Like it got so bad to the point they couldn't even sleep on the ground. And he's like, "You're committing a third-degree crime, sleeping on the beach." And I'm like, so they can't do nothing. What do you want them to do? Just stand like? I know this part was purely up for kicks and giggles, but it was also BS at the same time and stuff. Mm-hmm. What did you think of these clowns?
Just kick their butts, Luffy. Just kick their butts.
Oh yeah. Actually, another funny point. I know I'm putting in so many funny points, but this is literally, that's the one thing I like about Skypiea, the comedy. So Sanji being in his little desperate little lovey-dovey mood for his little girl crewmates, he has these two flowers. Who's gonna give one to Nami and he's gonna give one to Robin. This man, I swear, gives one to Robin, and Robin gives the most what the F face ever. She's like, wow, that just happened. So now listen, there's the greatest Robin moment that appears later, and that happens in Thriller Bark. Just wait till we talk about that. I'll be dying of laughter. Now, oh my God, I can't get over that. I can't get over the White Beret stuff. Anyways, you would think things can get worse because Nami essentially runs the White Berets leader over with the waiver. And she tries to play it off like, oh, I didn't mean to do it. I was totally out of control. And the second in command's like, you're lying. So which is another funny thing about the I'm sorry, man. This is funny.
I know. It's hilarious.
Anyways, what happens is, since the Straw Hats are resisting arrest, and they won't also pay the fee for this, which they have to pay a more expensive fee than what they originally, were supposed to spend at the Heaven's Gate, which essentially they would spend 70 million, 70,000 X-Toll, which I think is still expensive as hell. Even Sanji's like, well, if you add that up and stuff like that, even in berries, that still sounds expensive. Yeah, because they're resisting it, that's when they're like, well, that's a 5th-degree crime. And because of it, you're going to go to a death sentence. So, yeah. Them escaping the Marines for good? No. They always still find some way to get in trouble with the law.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you can kind of say that the law is somewhat corrupt. Like,
yeah.
Like, you're really going to charge people just to enter into your land free of charge when in the regular Blue Sea world, you don't need to pay nothing to get up into anybody's village. So, which again goes to show you the hierarchy of rulery going on over here. Now, in the meantime, what they do is they try to sneak and try to leave the island of Skypiea and stuff like that. Now, Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp, they go up to Konus's place to get food because Luffy is hungry.
Neat.
Now, Konus tells Nami to raise the anchor to make sure you're prepared, but this was kind of a trap. So I guess you can say God Eneru's lobster takes him to the upper yard to the sacrificial altar for them to be sacrifices. Anyways, Konus tells Konus leading Luffy and the others after seeing this to essentially fall for another trap. And you can see Konus is obviously, she knows that what she's doing is messed up. And Luffy's like, why are you shaking like that? And that's when you see the other Skypieans like, don't say it, damn it. Don't you say it. But what does Konus do? She gets emotional and she says it. And she says that she tricked them all and she did all this and stuff like that. Now, in the grand scheme of things, you would probably be hating on Konus by saying, oh, you're a Jezebel, you traitor, you Judas. But no, you can't really blame Konus because she almost gets electrocuted to death by a gigantic hole from what's called Heaven's Judgment. Now, Luffy saves her in the nick of time, but it creates a huge, massive crater where everybody's freaked the kingdom come. Now, in the meantime, Gonful actually shows up. He saves them. He says, well, go do your little sacrifice trial thing and stuff like that. I'll take care of Konus. Now, the interesting thing is, after they leave, Konus calls Gonful God. And when I heard this, I was like, huh? I was like, what's going on here? What is going on here? What was your revelation when she said that?
Oh, boy.
Okay. All right. Now let's get to this thing. Now, in the meantime, they get to the Nami and those get to the sacrificial altar. This is when we get the scene Denzel actually mentioned earlier. If you would care to do it again.
No, go ahead.
Which is the Tarzan thing, the Tarzan reference. Again, that was purely just a reference and another funny comedic moment. And Nami was like, you've got to be kidding me. He's such a kid. So I just found that hilarious. Hilarious. I'm like, well, it seems like Zoro has his own child side to himself too. Yeah. That was purely for kicks and giggles there. Zoro also does fight a sky shark and almost dies in the process, but it's okay. Now, like I said, Nami and Robin leave the Mary to go look around the upper yard and stuff like that, while Chopper stays behind and tries to fix up the ship. Fun fact, he later runs into one of the priests later on and almost kicks the bucket there. We'll talk about that later. But in the meantime, Luffy, Usopp, and Sanji, they essentially are going down, the Milky Road. They're into these bunch of traps that are set for them to kill them, but thanks to Luffy, they managed to get out of there. Then they see these pillars that have these ordeals or trials, essentially. They essentially go through the ordeals of balls. I know. I'm not trying to be anything. The fun fact, Funimation actually changed it in terms of, they changed it from ordeal of balls to ordeal of spears because, again, if you're a kid and if you're gonna be a kid about ordeal of balls, yeah, that's the reason why they changed it, because they thought people would just get inappropriate with that phrase. Not to say that it isn't funny in the slightest, and the first thing that doesn't pop into your head is, well, a tennis ball. I don't know what that says, if you know what I mean. This is also, so, okay. So this is when they fight a man by the name of Satori, who uses these, I guess, surprise balls that could either be like bombs or different stuff like that. Now, when Luffy goes in to attack him, he uses this ability called Mantra, which post time skip people and even pre-time skip people by the time you get to Marineford know what Mantra is. And again, just for the grand of things, spoilers, if you don't want to know what it is, skip a little bit into the future. We won't talk about it much, but we find out, and like I said, this is your spoiler warning, so skip further into the video if you don't know. But if you do know what I'm talking about, we find out that Mantra later on is hockey, morally specific observation hockey, which we know observation hockey kind of helps you predict your opponent's movements and stuff like that. So yeah, it was interesting to see, as well as other characters, whether it was the Shandorians and the other priests and even Anaru himself, they all knew observation hockey, and to say that Luffy and the crew beat guys with observation hockey without knowing hockey themselves at this point in time in the story, pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, an interesting thing is in the fight with Satori, he does what I'm guessing is the invisible hockey thing Luffy's trying to learn in Wano right now. That's what it looked like to me. I don't know if that was just you, but hey, it's your impression.
I didn't really think much of it.
Well, that's obviously because we didn't know hockey at the time. But yeah, but like I said, it is interesting that they established hockey way back in season, in like legit the third main arc of the series, which is crazy. Okay. Anyways, now the thing is, they do manage to beat Satori after everything. And what they do is Luffy kind of uses one of Satori's attacks against him, and he kind of ties him up with Sanji like, your ordeal is the ordeal of spears, huh? Well, I'm going to give you my ordeal. And that is the ordeal of love, because I have two maidens waiting for me, which is typical Sanji. Yeah, he manages to give Satori a heavy blow to the head, knocking him out unconscious. And can I just say, Satori has some of the ugliest looking eyes in One Piece period. There's a reason why he's wearing glasses.
Oh man.
Also, he also continues the trend of characters that have a repeated laugh, which is the I know. I know. Now, the fun fact, the other priest oh my goodness. Speaking of another priest, the other priest with the hair that looks like candles, yeah, his thing is he tries to say these words, but he can't say it the right way, or he says it in the wrong meaning in a phrase. Now, I just found that purely comedy. And sometimes he would even be like holding, like, I don't know. That dude was funny. Anyways, we cut back to Gonfall. Gonfall actually takes Conus and her dad to his house to protect them, and actually talks about the war between the Skypeans and the people of Shandia, which we later find out the people of Shandia are the people that are called the gorillas and stuff like that. And they're fighting over who should have control of the upper yard. Now, when he was gone, he wanted to make peace between the people, but when Anaru came into the picture, all of that stopped. And if you ask me, Anaru made everything worse.
To put it lightly, yeah.
Honestly, to say that Anaru was more of a dictator than a god character, you know, the only thing that was god-like about his I guess thing was the fact that he had mantra, as well as his devil fruit power is legit the power of, I guess you can say, God. Electricity.
I guess if you want to go that route.
Now, coming back to Chopper, one of the priests named Shura, who for some reason is wearing aviator clothes. Like, I kid you not, the dude looks like he could be a pilot. How you're wearing that type of stuff up in the land of Skypiea? I have no idea. So I'm just gonna ignore that. He also has a pretty cool looking bird. That looks somewhat like a Skarmory from Pokemon, but again, I'm not gonna make a mention of that. He ends up attacking Chopper and even damages the Mary. Now, the thing is, when he has a spear, and when he stabs his spear into you, it just burns things. So yeah, it is pretty crazy, and he even stabs Chopper pretty bad. But thanks to Chopper blowing the whistle earlier, he managed to call Gonfall, and Gonfall actually comes in to save him, and stuff like that. And the thing is this. Now the fight is honestly evenly matched between Gonfall and Shura, but what happens is Shura uses his trial or his ordeal of streams, which has these individual stream barriers, which, that's not a reference to a future villain. The thing is, he ties him up and he knocks him into the sea with the sky sharks. Chopper tries to save him, even though he can't swim. Yeah. Don't ask me his thinking. I will commend Chopper for trying to save the Sky Knight or Gonfall, but dude, you can't swim. Also, Pierre is knocked into the water. Yeah. So it seems like all hope is lost and Chopper would die, but no, he eventually saved by a giant south bird, and stuff like that. So yeah, which is pretty crazy. Now, and this also leads into the south bird stuff, and this is when Nami finds the ruins of the other side of Cricket's house. And that's when they see, or that's when Nami deducts and finds out, and that's why when the audience, obviously, whatever you read or watch, you find out that the upper yard is the missing part of Jaya. And we find out that this part of Jaya was, and it even goes into the backstory, which we're not going to talk about because, honestly, this is what the backstory is about, what happened to Nolan and the ancestors of Shandia and stuff like that. But essentially, the knock-up stream got under a piece of the island of Jaya, shot it up to Skypiea, and it's been up there for like years, which is pretty crazy. The revelation, I didn't see it at first, but it was like, oh, okay. It adds more to lore here and stuff like that. So yeah, that was nice. That was nice. So yeah. Again, like I said, and the thing too about the upper yard is the trees are massively giant, which you can see that this island had obviously mutations thanks to being in a sky island, or in the sky essentially. Now, I'm guessing it's probably because maybe the sun stands out a bit more. It grew more than not. So I'm guessing that's why the trees are so massively big and stuff like that. So yeah. Anything you want to say about that, Denzel, or move on to the next point?
Let's move on, man. Like I said, I don't really have much to say about this arc.
This is when we kind of get into the third party of this arc, which is the Shandians. Now we see this little girl called Isa who has mantra abilities, who was born with mantra abilities. So essentially, again, spoiler alert, spoiler warning. This girl had hockey from when she was probably a damn baby. You're telling me Luffy didn't? Okay. Yeah. I really do wish how they explain how they have hockey abilities. I really did wish they explained that better. They kind of just, they have this. That's kind of it. Okay. Anyways, she's a girl who has a mantra, and she can tell that sorcery was defeated, and even Gonfo was defeated. Now, Wiper, who is the leader of Shandia and is the great descendant of the guy who's in the backstory, essentially, they take a group to go up to the upper yard and try to defeat the priest and take the upper yard as their yard. But one of them actually gets really badly damaged because he's trying to protect the cousin of Isa, which is Loki, who is trying to get essentially what is dirt for Isa, but they call it verf, which they call it like, very valuable holy stuff or something like that. Essentially, you could say it's like gold to them. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, actually, looking back at this point, I really like this part the Skypiea, where the Straws, when they reunite with each other, they have the nice little campfire and find out everything more about Jaya. I did like the fact that they were all Sanji was all cooking food for them, and it just felt to me like these guys are like one big family. You really felt, and that's really like, man, could One Piece have like some filler episodes where we just see what the Straw Hat Pirates just do on the ship as just a daily life thing? I really want an episode like that, like just the daily shenanigans on the Sunny.
Don't they have a fashion show? I just saw a clip of that on YouTube, and I was like, I have to see this. I don't care what anyone said. I have to see this.
I forgot if that's. I know that's from a special, but I forgot what special that is. But I know what you're talking about. I saw that, and I was like,
from what I can tell, it's from the episode of Luffy, wasn't it?
I'll have to look that up. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, I still remembered that. I don't know how they were drilling over when Nami and Robin were doing their beauty stuff, but okay, only Sanji was doing that. But anyways, I did like that one wholesome moment, and I do like the campfire part when they were dancing wolves. So that was a nice moment. That was probably honestly one of my favorite parts of Skypiea, to say the least, when they just had the stuff like that. Now the plan is, now that they found out that because they combined the map with Skypiea, which actually I'm going to show right now. So in a quick second, I'll show. All right, guys, back. As you can see, this is the map of Skypiea. You have the map they show in the anime and even the map to the right. It's more of a kind of detailed map, even though it shows some things that, were integral to the storyline. But, you can see right here is my cursor. Over there is where the island or where the city of gold is at and stuff like that. Actually, over here, right here, is where the sacrificial altar is at and stuff like that. So it's interesting. It's interesting. And as you go over here, you can see the arc that Eneru had. The bell was up in the air. The beanstalk, the snake right here. It's a Skypiea or the upper yard, this part of Jaya, it seems like it's a huge chunk of forest, but it really is just a small little tiny island the more you look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now, when Nami puts the two maps together, the map of Skypiea and the map of Jaya together, they find out that the maps or the entire island forms a skull, which, pirates? Of course, an island would form a skull. So yeah, that's when they decide the plan is to go to the City of Gold, split into two teams. One team gets the ship ready to escape Skypiea, while the other team goes look for the City of Gold and get the gold. But in the meantime, now actually Gonfo actually tells Robbins more about the Blue Sea and how things from the Blue Sea get knocked up, and they find that valuable information like the dirt and the verf and stuff like that. Now, a very interesting thing which ties into the next arc, which is Water 7, is Usopp actually gets up to check on the Mary, and he sees this little thing, this person in a silhouette form fixing the Mary.
Yeah. I was like, what? Is he tripping?
Yeah, and I was like, now when I was first watching, I was like, what? Now that's later. We find out later what that thing was. In Water 7, which we'll say that in next week's video. But yeah, that was very interesting. It was like, okay.
I didn't even know how relevant that was until later.
Oh, trust me. And actually, to speak about the Mary, this entire arc gets really badly freaking damaged. Like they have to fix it over and over and over and over again, which leads to the trend of it seems like they might need a new ship, which leads into Water 7. Yeah. Anything you got to say about the Mary always being damaged in this arc?
Don't mention that to me, man. I'm already emotional enough about it.
So yeah. Like I said, the team who's looking for the gold is Luffy, Zoro, Chopper, and Robin, while the others are gonna leave the upper yard. Now, Whitebeard actually, because they failed their mission to try to overtake the upper yard and they retreated. What happens? Whitebeard actually gets upset at Locky for essentially kind of only caring about her own personal feelings. And he's like, listen, we're going back up there the next morning or the next day. If you listen, do not care about anybody else. I don't care if you have to even step over your dead bodies of your comrades. Do not worry about them. Worry about yourself. Which, it goes to show, Whitebeard is a pretty cold individual.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, he kind of treated Locky pretty rude here.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And I was like, yeah. Now, quick thing. I don't know if it's me, but do you think Whitebeard and Locky had something going on between the two?
Nah.
It seemed like they had a thing going on between each other. To me, maybe they did hook up. It has been 2 years since we last saw them. You know, we're probably never going to see Skypiea ever again. Maybe they'll do a pan out or something like that. Who knows? Anyways, this is when we also see Eneru in person, and he tells his other priests that they are free to use their powers. Now, they do not have devil fruit powers. They just have their magical priest powers, and stuff like that. Now, again, this comes to the part where I start to frickin' hate this arc. And that is the mean of one giant snake.
One giant snake.
Anyways, you know, now Luffy, they break up because of the snake, stuff like that. Luffy eventually gets eaten by the snake, which in the anime takes frickin' forever for him to get out of this dang snake, which I hated so damn much. It took it so long. Eventually Nami, Gonfall, Pierre, and Isa eventually get into the snake's mouth as well and find Luffy there. In the meantime, Zoro has interactions with a South Bird that wants his food. So I guess that was pretty freaking funny. Chopper is legit fighting for his life. He beats one of the priests only to almost look like he gets killed by another priest. Also, Eneru is playing a game here in terms of I only want in his Zarbon voice, because that's his English dub voice. The Zarbon voice is Eneru's voice. I kid you not. And he essentially he plays a game, and this game is he wants 5 people left in this game. And these 5 people, including him, want them left in the game. So essentially, he's toying with everybody. And we see the true depths of his power when he electrocutes Usopp, Sanji, and I believe even Gonfall as well. Which, okay, very scary. Very, very freaking scary. Now, the thing is, Wiper comes across Shura. Shura and Wiper uses a reject dial to defeat Shura. Now, a reject dial is a dial that multiplies the attack, but it also damages the user. So it's kind of a all or nothing gamble type of attack. So yeah. Now, one thing is Zoro actually gets into a fight with one of the Shandians. He beats one of the Shandians by using a new move. And I think I know what you're talking about. 50 caliber.
3.5.
Yeah, that's when Zoro does his. It's supposed to represent into an air pressurized attack, but to me, it just looks like a regular energy attack from Dragon Ball, to be honest.
Shonen, whatever.
Yeah. Still pretty cool though. Still pretty cool. So it gives Zoro a long distance attack.
Yeah.
So yeah. Again, like I said, Luffy gets eaten. The priest Chopper ends up fighting is Gedatsu. That's the guy that says phrases in the wrong way. He beats him. His ordeal is swamp and stuff like that. And Chopper beats him by using his own powers against him. And it's said that Gedatsu literally falls down to the blue sea. I don't know if he's still alive, but okay. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. Now Eneru actually tells Gonfall that nobody can beat him because of his powers, which we all know because this is when we get the revelation. His devil fruit is the Goro Goro no Mi, which is the Japanese name for his devil fruit, but the English fruit name is called the Rumble Rumble fruit. Yeah, I know. It's not the electric fruit. It should be called that, but they're calling it the Rumble Rumble fruit. Anyways, he's like Smoker, Ace, and people and Crocodile. He's a Logia devil fruit user who can turn his body into strictly electricity. And it's also factually proven that the Goro Goro no Mi, because Robin says this, it's one of the most powerful devil fruit in the world. So you got a pretty powerful character who's using a pretty powerful devil fruit.
Yep.
So yeah. Now, speaking of Robin, she actually finds the city of gold, but there's no gold there. Now, she finds the city of gold because they were separated by different layers of clouds. Now, even though she doesn't find the gold or see any gold, she does find a poneglyph, which talks about the golden bell. And later, later at the end of this arc, which we'll get into, she sees the golden bell as another poneglyph, which talks about the ancient weapon Poseidon, which we know later on. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. Also, so anyways, Chopper, after beating the other priest, he climbs up the beanstalk because we're getting Jack and the Beanstalk vibes here. I kid you not. This entire arc was climbing up the beanstalk. He runs into another priest called Ohm, and Ohm is the guy with his dog pet thing. Oh, and actually, speaking of Robin, she kills one of the priest dudes by breaking his back. They don't even show it. So I wonder if they show that in the manga, because if they showed it in the manga, man, that's why my girl Robin is my fave. She shows no mercy. I like her. Yeah, it makes you like tremble, like, well, there's a good way to not piss Robin off. Don't destroy history.
Yeah.
Because that's what the dude was doing, who she, I'm guessing, killed. It's implied she killed him. And because the dude was messing up all these ancient artifacts and stuff like that, and she was getting really pissed. And when she was like, "That's it," which you're
Well,
gonna give her.
yeah, I mean, we don't ever see him again after that, so I can just assume that.
Yeah. So like Nami in that one filler episode where she killed that one guy by knocking him into the ocean on the way in the red line. Robin is Straw Hat casualty killer number 2.
Uh,
I find it so funny
no,
how
no,
Nami and Robin technically are the only 2 girls on the Straw Hat crew that have killed people.
scary females.
Oh yes, very scary females. 1, don't piss Nami off if it comes to her money, and don't piss Robin off when it comes to her history and stuff like that. So yeah, we're good. We're good here. Now what happens is Chopper actually loses to Ohm, but Zoro sees as he fights Ohm in a pretty cool looking battle. And yeah. Now Eneru actually finds Robin, tells Robin, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the gold, I took all of that. Are you proud of me?" And stuff like that. Now also Robin also does try to downplay the fact that she doesn't know about the Golden Bell because she brings up the fact that about the Golden Bell, and Eneru's like, Golden Bell, very interesting. I would like that Golden Bell for myself. Although he does know the location of the Golden Bell himself as well. So, and this is when we get there. We get the mention that Eneru says he's going to destroy Skypiea. So yeah, he's going to essentially like nuke it to Kingdom Come with his powers. So that's great. Now what happens is this. So okay. So the last few players standing in this game Eneru is playing right now is one is Gonfall, Wiper, Robin, and Zoro. And he beats all of them pretty easily. Now, I guess you can get accustomed to here. Now, if you're a Zoro x Robin shipper, I guess you can say Zoro kind of protects Robin after she kind of gets shocked by Eneru, and stuff like that. Also, can I just say this? Eneru, he does not like women that toy with him. He does not like women that toy with him because Robin was kind of trying to play that game with Eneru, and he's like, and he just shocks her, and he's like, I don't like manipulative women. I'm like, oh, well, at least he doesn't easily get seduced.
Well, at least we know that Nami's tricks won't work on him either.
Well, what choice did Nami have? It was either die or go with him. But let's be honest. If somehow Eneru's plan worked, he would have probably did some dirty things to Nami.
Mm-hmm.
And what could Nami do? She would have probably been enslaved again because the dude has one of the most powerful devil fruits.
Then again, Eneru's probably gay. He does have Zarwan's voice actor.
Okay. I'm going to ignore that, but okay.
I mean, he does have Zarwan's voice actor, so it's a possibility, right?
I guess so. Again, like I said, you can interpret how it is. Zoro does have respect for women. He does say that like many times he has respect for women. But I guess you can have a little Zoro x Robin fantasy there. You know, at first I ship it, but I'm more of a Robin x Frankie shipper.
You do you, man. You do you.
Trust me, they give hints that apparently the two might have a thing between each other. They hint that at as well in a few manga cover pages, as well as the fact she kind of picks on him, and also she kind of, well, we'll get into that in Ennis Lobby. At the end, we won't say it here. Yeah, so he beats them all easily. Now, Wiper actually almost literally, he kills Eneru for a second. And then thanks to his Devil Fruit powers, because of course, he has the powers of electricity. Now, I don't know how he managed to revive himself. If he's supposed to be dead, you're supposed to lose your Devil Fruit powers instantly. And the Devil Fruit grows back to the place it was found, or it originated from. How Eneru somehow, I don't know, started his heart again. Plot hole right there. Just a plot hole. Yeah, you kill somebody, but he can magically jumpstart his heart again without using no powers. Anyways, he kills Wiper. Well, no, he doesn't kill Wiper. He beats Wiper. He forces Nami to go with him. Otherwise, he's like, look, I'm gonna kill you if you don't join me. So Nami goes with him. She even takes the waiver with him and stuff like that. Now we go with him, and he goes into this cave. And the thing is, Eneru says he's gonna leave in this ship, which we'll see the destruction of Skypiea and everything, and go elsewhere to rule the world in his own image, as he says, because he believes he's God in his brain.
Apparently.
Yeah. He has a ship called the Arc Maximum, which is based on his electric Devil Fruit powers, as well as he's using the gold from that as a conductor. So now this is when Luffy finally, with Isa, gets out of the snake, because I knew he was going the wrong way in the snake. Thanks to Isa, she's able to take him to Eneru. This is when we get the fight between Eneru and Luffy, which is not my favorite fight in One Piece. I kid you not.
I believe you.
Now the first part of the fight was freaking hilarious. I will say that, because one, Luffy gives a funny face where he closes his mouth shut like. So we get the revelation is that Eneru's Devil Fruit powers do not work on Luffy because electricity does not affect rubber. So
I was legit dying at his facial expression.
Yeah. The facial expression from Eneru was like, ah! If you have not seen that facial expression, I kid you not, man. You need to get a life, man. That's one of the most funniest facial expressions, you can have. It's up there with the Wano facial expressions where every Straw Hat was like, ah! In reaction to Luffy being captured by Kaido. Yeah, that was a thing. It was funny there. Luffy is completely OP against Eneru. Completely. Now, another interesting point is I don't know why Eneru didn't use his mantra more, because if he can predict Luffy's moves coming, why didn't he just use his mantra? Which is one of the reasons why I hate this fight. Another reason why I hate this fight is because they just had to give Luffy a plot device to just strand this arc even longer than what it should have already been. What I'm talking about is essentially Eneru makes Luffy, thanks to his power, he makes Luffy's little forearm have a giant golden ball on his hand, which is a plot device to keep Eneru being a threat, because obviously you got to put a plot device on Luffy and stuff like that for Eneru to seem much like a more tougher villain. Anyways, to quicken up the pace, thanks to Nami on the waiver, and the thing is, Eneru is going to get the bell to complete his goal and stuff like that. The thing is, and actually, even before that, another thing why I hate the animated version of this arc is they give you the backstory of the arc of how Jaya got up to, Skypiea, the whole Nolan the Lion backstory, the Shandian backstory, They put that legit in the episode before Luffy fights frickin' Eneru in the anime. I don't know if they do this in the manga, but I saw that and I was like, I was already turned off. I was turned off. I was like, I'm ready for this arc to be done. I thought that was terrible placement. I just thought it was terrible placement. They probably should have did it earlier. Like maybe when Gonfall was telling the history of how the upper yard got here. That would have worked well into giving the backstory. But no, they want to do it before Eneru versus Luffy. Anyways, they make a stretch. Big Tsunami writing the waiver, and Luffy with the golden ball on his forearm. No homo. They managed to right up the beanstalk, get up there. Now he confronts Eneru one more time. Now Eneru, I guess you can say, covers his body, becomes a giant electrified being. Which, if you saw his pose, it looked like his pose was in the Gear 4th pose. I kid you not. He literally looked like he was in the Gear 4th pose. I'm guessing every Devil Fruit user can do that with their power to some extent. And maybe they end up in the Gear 4th pose. Anyways, Luffy hits it with the golden ball that hits him into the golden bell. And it knocks Eneru out.
Finally.
Like I was like, this arc is over. My suffering. That's how I first felt when I first watched this arc. The bell rings, and the bell rings so loud that it cuts back to Jaya, and even Cricket can hear it. And you know, when Cricket hears it, that's the confirmation to him that the City of Gold was real, which is a nice heartfelt moment there. I do like that moment and stuff like that. Yeah, now, in terms of Eneru, all I can say is Eneru goes to the moon.
Apparently.
Yeah, he goes up to the moon. So Eneru is still alive, yes, but he goes up to the moon. Apparently he's with these moon people up there. So, yeah. We don't know if Eneru will make an appearance again. He might. Hell, who knows? Since there's a moon up there, maybe that explains a certain ancient weapon we'll hear later on. Yeah, because one of the ancient weapons is literally the name of a planet in the solar system. Anyways, after beating Eneru, peace is once again in the land of Skypiea. The Shandorians and the Skypeans now see eye to eye, and now they're good people. Before they leave, Robin reads this poneglyph that talks about the ancient weapon Poseidon, which ties into something in Fishman Island. I won't talk about that because we already know, me and Denzel know who the ancient weapon of Poseidon is. And where it is. And then also, Roger also left a note right next to the poneglyph. And we get the revelation that Gold Roger actually came to Skypiea because he not only left a note there, but Gonfall knew Gold Roger as well when he was up there too. Or when he was God himself. And also Gonfall retakes the position of God again. Or I guess you can say ruler of Skypiea. That's essentially what it is. Also, we get revelations through Robin is that it seems like Gold Roger knew the entire Void Century history, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
So it seems like he knows that. Also, we get another key information that the thing Robin is looking for is the real poneglyph, which apparently the real poneglyph is apparently it is on Raftel. It's confirmed in a future arc that it is on Raftel, or Laftail, which is the island of the One Piece. And essentially the real poneglyph tells the entire history of the Void Century, which is something that Robin is inspired to know. And her thing is she wants to know the history of the Void Century and then be able to tell it to others. Now, we know why we need to know about the Void Century, because a certain world government is very sneaky about keeping that information hidden, which leads into Water 7 and Ennis Lobby in terms of Robin's backstory there and stuff like that. Again, like I said, there's a reason why the world government is hiding that information from people. Because they know they did something bad and they want to hide it, because if the public finds out what they did, they're going to be like, so, you guys been lying to us this entire time. Now, we'll talk more about that when we get into the Robin backstory, which is in 2 weeks. But it's still an interesting point there. And again, this one we find out Robin's motivation, that she wants to find the poneglyphs, connect them all together, find the real poneglyph, to find the true history of the Void Century, which still to this day, we do not know nothing about. The only thing about the Void Century we know about is the old countries are like Alabasta, who used the descendants of Alabasta and all the other countries of the islands we've been on, who are allied with the world government. The world government, the ancient civilization in the Void Century that apparently, I guess, went up against the world government, the ancient weapons, and the person named Joy Boy. That's the only other things we know about the Void Century. Till this day, we don't know. Like I said, we probably won't find that information out till we get a world government arc. And we get the true backstory, which I think every One Piece fan wants to know. Even I do.
Mm-hmm. I want to know what made a certain hateful Marine made him to the man he is today. If you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Anyways, the Straw Hats take the gold all for themselves, which will carry on later into Water 7. They leave Skypiea on peaceful terms, and Skypiea, I feel like if they somehow are able to go back there, they'd be welcomed in with open arms, because the Straw Hats essentially saved Skypiea. So it's another country that knows that the Straw Hats did good for them, even though they know that they're pirates and stuff like that. Just like Alabasta.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, now, okay, this is when the manga and the anime differ. Now, in the manga, when they leave Skypiea, they go directly to the next arc, which is Long Ring, Long Land arc, which I'm not ready to talk about next week. And then now in the anime kind of, I say, would transitions a lot better than the manga version. And that is, in the anime, it leads into a filler-only arc, which is the G8 arc. I know we're not going to be talking about G8, which I think G8 is one of the best filler arcs in anime, period. And essentially, it's Luffy and the crew getting stuck in this Navy base. And they have to find their way and outsmart this guy essentially playing chess with them to get out of the Navy base. Again, it's a cool arc. If you haven't seen G8, please do watch it. It's really good. Whether you watch it in subbed or dubbed, it's fine by me. It's still a really good arc, and I enjoy it. I know we're not going to talk about it, but still, it is what it is. But yeah, I ended up from Jaya and Skypiea. Like I said, I'm in the middle about this. Denzel, he doesn't like it. Like I said, you know, I used to be in the same boat as Denzel, but I did grow a little bit more appreciation for Skypiea.
Funny thing, after this review, I think I'll be okay with the Skypiea arc.
Yeah, there's some elements to it that aren't the best, and I see why people do not like this arc. But at the same time, I do, at the end of the day, also see why people do like this arc. Now, I personally didn't like Eneru, the villain. I'm just going to be honest. He served no threat to me as a main antagonist. Like, to other characters, yes. But if you're going to put him up against Luffy, I'm like, I'm tickling. And I guess that's the problem that I don't like about Eneru. And the reason why I hate the whole plot device thing with the golden ball on Luffy's forearm. They did that to depower Luffy so Eneru looks more stronger. When in reality, Eneru was he was threatening. I'll give him that to other characters, but to Luffy, it's like, well, this is where you just died. I don't know. That's just me. I didn't really like Eneru as a villain. He didn't do much for me, especially with the fact that he was proclaiming himself to be God himself.
He just has that psycho face that pisses me off.
Oh yeah, he has very droopy ears.
Which Luffy lovingly calls earlobes.
Oh yeah. Listen, I don't know what type of piercings or what type of stretching his ears had to do to be that damn long. But like I said, that must have damn near hurt to stretch your ears that long.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also believed that I don't know. Please put this in the comments if I get this wrong, but I think it's believed that Eneru came, I think, from another sky island and came up to Skypiea and just took over the place because of his double and stuff like that. So yeah. Jaya was fine. Skypiea, fine. That's really it. We probably want to get out of here because we made a pretty long video here and there. So yeah. Excuse me. Any other things to say, Denzel, before we go?
I'm just glad we finished reviewing Skypiea. That's all I can say.
Like I said, hey, in the comment section, don't hate on us. If you like Skypiea, more by all means, that's fine by you. I will respect your decision to like Skypiea. You're not trash like me or Denzel because we may not like it like you do. It's our opinions. That's what we're here on YouTube to talk about. Our opinions. And stuff like that. So maybe Skypiea was your favorite arc at the end of the day. It wasn't for me. I don't like, is it in my top 10? I think it is, but it's straight up number 10 for me, to be honest. So yeah, that's really it. So next week or next Monday, we're gonna talk about Long Ring, Long Land. We get introduced to the foxy fucking pirates.
Okay. I'll give Skypiea credit. It's better than the Foxy Pirates arc.
Oh, much better. The fact that they even gave Foxy his own special with Luffy. That arc also has anime/manga differences as well. Now, we're more than likely to be talking about the animated one more than the manga version. But as you can see by our reaction, we hate this arc, and it might be the worst arc in One Piece straight up. And then we move on to the great Water 7 arc. And then we get to the greatness of one of the highest peaks of One Piece in Water 7 and Enies Lobby. Now, Enies Lobby will be 2 weeks from now, but at least we can try to get past Long Ring Long Land for Water 7.
It's too long, no pun intended.
Anyways, the fact that I have to put myself through the torture of watching it again. Fuck. Okay, guys. And then if you like this video, leave a like. Section. Your thoughts on the Skypiea and Jaya arc.
He's mentally suffering, guys. He's mentally suffering right now. Look at him. Look at him. Look at his eyes. Look at his face.
As well as your hype levels for next week's arc review. Oh God. I'm not looking forward to next week, bro. You say you weren't looking forward to this. I am definitely not looking forward to that. Long Ring Long Land is definitely an arc where it's like
not today. Never let it be said, guys. There's a firearm right here next to me. No exact reason for why it's there. All I can say is it'll be there.
All I gotta say is Foxy. That's all I got. Anyways, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more One Piece arc content, our arc reviews. Now going up every Monday after this video is uploaded to YouTube today. Yeah, as well as hit the subscribe button to also get my One Piece anime episode reviews with what's going on with that stuff. I also do review other animes like ReZero, Fire Force with my buddy over here, and many more anime that are coming next year or later this fall, as well as I also do manga chapter reviews for My Hero Academia with that awesome chapter today with that badass moment from Deku from the end. So other than that, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great day. And I also, for people in California, I seriously am praying for you for this heat. All right. We're gonna get out of here. We've been here long enough. So till then, guys, peace.